What is the Imperium of Man? The Imperium of Man, also called the Imperium of Mankind, and simply the Imperium, is the galactic empire under which the majority of humanity is united. The founder and nominal ruler of the Imperium is the godlike Emperor of Mankind, the most powerful human psyker ever known. The Imperium is the largest and most powerful political entity in the galaxy, consisting of at least 1 million worlds which are dispersed across most of the galaxy. An imperial planet might be separated from its closest neighbor by hundreds or thousands of light years. As a stellar empire, the size of the Imperium cannot be measured in terms of contiguous territory, but only in the number of planetary systems in its control. Several aliens and forces, Chaos, Tyranids, Eldar, Dark Eldar, Orcs, Tau, and Necrons, challenge the supremacy of the Imperium. From within, the Imperium is threatened more insidiously by rebellion, mutation, rogue psychers, and subversive cults. Without the protection of the Imperium, mankind would fall prey to the countless perils that threaten it. The Imperium was founded by the Emperor of Mankind at the end of the Age of Strife, which was a very long period of anarchy, war, and destructive regression which brought humanity to the brink of destruction and reversed the technological progression made during the Dark Age of technology. In the Unification Wars, the Emperor led his Proto-Astartes, known as the Thunder Warriors, to victory in unifying Terra for the first time in a millennia. As the warp storms of the Age of Strife subsided, after having secured the scientific posts and space docks of Luna, along with the factories and scientists on Mars, the Emperor began to unite mankind under his rule. A vast navy was built with which his armies undertook the Great Crusade, which lasted for about 2 centuries. During this 200-year-long military campaign, the Emperor employed his most potent military units, the Space Marine Legions, led by their leaders, the Primarchs. These, combined with the might of the Imperial Army, Custodian Guard, Sisters of Silence, and Martian Mechanicum forces that included the Collegia Titanica and Legio Cybernetica, saw thousands of human worlds brought together under the Imperium. The Great Crusade ended with the corruption and treachery of the Primarch Horus, the instigator of the Horus Heresy. The rebellion was fought across the galaxy, and Horus, seeking to achieve a swift and decisive victory, led most of the traitor forces in a direct strike at the capital of humanity in the Battle of Terra. In the final decisive battle between the Emperor and the arch-traitor, Horus was slain, leading to the breakup of the rebellion and the exile of the traitors to the Eye of Terror. However, the Master of Mankind was himself mortally wounded. According to his instructions, he was placed on the life-preserving Golden Throne, where, for nearly 10,000 years, he has remained. Though physically a carcass incapable of movement or communication, his omnipotent will extends across the million worlds of the Imperium, beaming with psychic energy of the Astronomicon, soul-binding psychic humans, and struggling against the demons of the warp. He endures by his undying will and by the sustenance that only the souls of sacrificial psychers can provide. By the numberless masses of humanity, he is worshipped as a god. The immediate period following the heresy, the Scouring and Age of Rebirth, saw the Imperium slowly rebuild its might and control over the domain of man. It also saw the last of the Emperor's loyal Primarchs either fall in battle, become gravely wounded, or disappear altogether. Nonetheless, in the subsequent age known as the Forging, the Imperium enjoyed a period of growth and expansion. The Imperium's period of relative peace ended abruptly in mid-M32, when an orc war boss known only as the Beast launched the greatest wag ever encountered. The Beast was only halted at great cost by the Adeptus Astartes. The Imperium saw further periods of severe instability throughout M35 and M36, experiencing civil wars during the Nova Terra Interregnum, an age of apostasy. This period saw the worst internal violence since the heresy. Following the age of apostasy, the Imperium was again heavily pre-organized and many heretics purged in the Age of Redemption. This new fervor culminated in a series of major crusades and wars of faith, most notably the Redemption Crusades and Macarian Crusades. However, while successful, this period exhausted the Imperium's military forces, and in the waning many worlds were lost to Xenos and Chaos attacks, as well as internal rebellion. The effects of the waning ultimately culminated in late M41, known as the Time of Ending. Here, the exhausted Imperium not only faced rejuvenated old threats, but also terrifying new enemies like the Tyranids and Necrons, as well as new, smaller, but dynamic alien empires such as the Tau, Noisem Reek, and Olmethic League. Beset on all sides by heresy and alien invasion, the future of the Imperium seems bleak. The Black Crusade saw both the destruction of Cadia and the formation of the Great Rift, which has effectively split the Imperium in two. However, some hope has been renewed thanks to the rebirth of the Primarch Rebute Gulliman, who has launched the Indomitus Crusade to reclaim worlds lost within the Dark Imperium. The Imperium is still nominally ruled by the Emperor of Mankind. However, since his ascension to the Golden Throne, the duty of actually ruling the Imperium falls to the Senatorum Imperialis, the Imperial Senate, led by the 12 High Lords of Terra. The identities and responsibilities of these High Lords may vary, as individuals inevitably die and their influence grows and wanes, but its members are always the leaders and representatives of the most powerful imperial organizations. This system endured for 10,000 years until the end of the 41st millennium, when the revived Primarch Rebute Gulliman became Lord Commander of the Imperium and ruled over even the High Lords. The imperial government is divided into four main bodies: the Adeptus Terra, the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Adeptus Ministrorum, and Inquisition. This is in turn answer to the Senatorum Imperialis, who rule in the name of the Emperor. In practice, most of the organizations comprising the Imperium are divisions of the vast Adeptus Terra. There are countless divisions, and some are so secretive their existence is known only to a few. The most well-known of the secret organizations is the Officio Assassinorum. Other organizations are secret enough that nothing besides their mere existence is known, such as the Officio Sabatorum and the Templars Psychologus. The largest single known polity in the galaxy, the Imperium maintains a wide array of military forces. At any given time, there are countless billions fighting for the Imperium of Man. Similar to its political organization, each branch of the Imperium's military is independent, with their own duties, rituals, chain of command, tactical acumen, and gear of war. Though diverse, the forces of the Imperium often work in conjunction with each other, and the larger the battle, the more likely it will be to see multiple imperial factions engaged in the same war. Massive conflagrations such as the Chaos invasions, known as the Black Crusades, or a major war zone such as the one surrounding the planet Armageddon, will attract representatives from all of mankind's military institutions. The Segmentae are the Imperium's primary administrative division. Each is divided into sectors, which are areas of space. The sectors in turn consist of subsectors, each containing a number of star systems which in turn are made up of individual worlds. These divisions and subdivisions are levels forming an administrative hierarchy. Each segmentum commander oversees his sector commanders, who in turn oversees subsector commanders, who oversee the individual planetary governors. The higher ranks in this system are usually combined with the basic planetary governorship, as well as interplanetary duties. This system is the means by which the Imperium maintains control of the separate planets that comprise it. The borders of the Imperium are marked by several uncharted regions of space which lay beyond the range of the Astronomicon, areas which are frequently viewed with uncertainty and fear by Imperial citizens. These include the Halo Zone on the Imperium's westernmost border, the Halo Stars to its northwest, the Ghoul Stars to its northeast, the Veiled Region, and Mandragoran Stars to its south, and the eastern fringes to its easternmost border. Following the 13th Black Crusade and the resurrection of Guilliman, much of the Imperium's northwestern frontier became cut off from Terra, becoming known as the Imperium Nihilus. Guilliman has launched a new crusade to reclaim these worlds. The region south of the Rift has become known as Imperium Sanctus. Due to its vast magnitude, the Imperium can afford for entire worlds to become specialized places where a majority, perhaps even the entirety of the population, is devoted to a single task. This could be heavy industry, military training, manufacturing, mining, or agricultural. Planet-wide dedication serves to simplify logistics and increase outputs. Everyday life differs greatly in the Imperium depending on which world one finds themselves on. However, there is a common uniting factor. All activities are based around service to the Emperor and his regime. Life is often monotonous, with those on the Hive world spending their days as factory laborers before a short sleep cycle inside a cramped living quarters. Materialism outside of nobility is virtually unknown. Whatever entertainment exists in the heavily monitored by the ecclesiarchy and is usually religious or political in nature. Most recreation is achieved through religious festivals, music, and drinking. Many, particularly those who cannot find fulfillment outside of worship to the Emperor, resort to drug use to escape the reality of their lives. There are parks and shows for the nobility, but these are too expensive for a commoner to enjoy. On particular regressive worlds, gladiatorial combat may be used for entertainment. Against this backdrop, most families will attempt to live a quiet, humble life, hoping to never encounter the gaze of the imperial authorities or the horrors of the galaxy. Making the sign of the Aquila is a common display of loyalty and respect within the Imperium. This is achieved through moving hands together into the shape of a double-headed eagle. Also, in addition to aliens, mutants, and psychers, most forms of robotics and artificial intelligence are also outlawed in the Imperium. This taboo was inherited from human civilizations of the Dark Age of technology, who were nearly annihilated at the hands of the legendary Iron Men. Thus, while certain forms of robotics such as servitors and machine spirits are sanctioned, any kind of true artificial sentience is declared to be heretical, abominable intelligence. The Imperium's state religion is the imperial cult, is the one and only faith under imperial law. While forms of worship may differ, they share a common belief that the Emperor is a god and the master of mankind. This state religion is overseen by the ecclesiarchy, the imperial church, and one of the most powerful and influential organizations among humanity. Any kind of deviation or apostasy against the imperial cult is classified as heresy and punishable by death. The exception falls to the cult Mechanicus, the state religion of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Since the Treaty of Olympus millennia ago, their faith has been granted tolerance. While the cult Mechanicus differs greatly from the tenets of the ecclesiarchy in its reverence of the machine, it nonetheless worships the emperor as a divine avatar of the machine god known as the Omnisci. However, other illegal faiths are practiced covertly by denizens of the Imperium, most notably among persecuted classes such as mutants. Unfortunately, it is common that oftentimes this involves worship of the dark gods. Hello everyone, this is your boy Travis J, and thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please click subscribe so you can be notified when new content is posted. Also, make sure you check out The Cruise, an original creepypasta written by me. I placed the link in the description. This is your boy Travis J, and thank you again for your continued love and support. I'm out. Peace.